Mike Wild, I'm the Chief Exec here at MAC. We're the support organisation for the voluntary community and social enterprise groups and charities in Manchester. It's Thursday the 25th of May 2017. This has been a horrible week for our city. We've seen the worst sides of humanity, but we've also seen the best side of humanity. So we wondered about whether we should even be doing this, but we thought it was important that we do. What we're going to do is announce our Spirit of Manchester Awards nominations for this year. We were going to do that anyway this week, and this is partly about carrying on, but it's also about the fact that this is about celebrating the best of humanity in Manchester, about all the great things that are happening in communities, and perhaps this week of all others is when we need to remember that more. Just wanted to say, all of us here at MAC, our staff, our trustees, our volunteers, were horrified by the events that we saw on Monday night. And our thoughts are with the families and friends of those people who've died or been injured, those people who were there and managed to get out. We know that experience will stay with them for a long time, and we want you to know that the voluntary sector, all the charities in Manchester and Greater Manchester and beyond, because it wasn't just Mancunians in that horrible experience in that room on Monday, it was people from all over the UK. We want you to know that the voluntary sector is here to help. We're here to support you, whatever you need, today, tomorrow, in the future. We always were and we always will be. So take that away from this if you take nothing else. We are here for you. We all stand together. There is a link at the bottom of this webcast when it goes on YouTube with all the resources that we've put together about what support there is available from the local charities and community groups in Manchester and beyond. And I know I am speaking for all of my colleagues in all of the charity sector right across the UK. We've had messages of support from people up and down this country, and indeed there are messages coming in supporting Manchester from the rest of the world. You are not alone. And it's okay not to be okay. It is okay to feel that you need some time for yourself. We are all making sure that we get that time for ourselves as well. So, with that aside, we wanted to celebrate all the good stuff that's already happening in Manchester and is going to continue to happen, perhaps even more so because of what's happened this week. What we do every time this time of year is we pull together a list of nominations. So we invite everybody in Manchester to send us great examples of things that are going on in the local community. All we do is pick the categories, so things like volunteering, campaigning, talking to local people about ways to improve health and well-being, working with local businesses. All of that, we get nominations in. I'm really, really pleased that this year we've had 129 nominations in for our various categories, so thank you to everybody who's put a nomination in. We then had a list of independent judges who met earlier this month to go through every single one of those nominations and decide which would go into a shortlist. And it's the shortlist that we're going to announce today. So I want to thank all the independent judges, and we put all the names of those on the website. We had people like Majid Dar, who was the winner of our Outstanding Contribution to the Sector Award last year, Anthony O'Connor from Cathedral, Jez Hall, who you might remember a few years ago organised Riot Clean On. Just huge thanks to all of them for their time in being involved. So, we planned to do this at a little event tonight, but rather than that, we thought a better way to do it would be to involve everybody here in getting this message out and doing it quickly without asking people to travel around the city, because as you know, there's still some disruption going on. So what we're going to do is, I'm going to introduce each category, and then fabulous members of the MAT team are going to come along and help us announce the nominations, the shortlist. So, first category is Volunteer of the Year. So Martin Preston is going to come on. So the first shortlisted for Volunteer of the Year is Davine Ford. So well done, Davine. Next we have Gilbert Morgan. Well done, Gilbert. And lastly, Tom Harrington. Congratulations, Tom. So that's Volunteer of the Year. Those three are the shortlisted nominees. So thank you, Martin. Next up we've got Dan. Dan's going to give us the details of volunteer involving organisation. So this is where charities and community groups actually involve the volunteers that they work with in the way the organisations run. It's so important to support your volunteers. So the nominations, we've got our Quorum Voice IV service, Cracking Good Food, and Future Direction CIC. Well done to all of them, organisations supporting their volunteers. Next up, we've got Volunteering Team of the Year. So this is groups of people coming together to do voluntary activities. So welcome to Stuart, who's just joined Mac in the last few days.
Hey.
So Volunteer Team of the Year shortlist, Friends of Burnage Library, Boots and Beats Leadership, and finally, Mad Lab Volunteers. Well done. Mad Lab just over the road from us over there. Thank you, Stuart. Next up, Equalities Award. So this is awards for groups that celebrate and champion equalities, something that we're really passionate about. You know, everybody is equal, everybody has a right to live and enjoy life in Manchester. So Cheryl has brought us the nominations, and they are the MASH Outreach Volunteer Team, Manchester Action Street Health, Out of Africa, and Uprising. Well done to Uprising, that's a youth group. So moving swiftly on, we've got Oliver. Oliver has brought us the Business Citizenship Award, so this is our recognition for businesses that are working on local causes with Manchester's charities and community organisations. First one is Fabulous Fanfare over at the Stadium. Next is Sow the City, the growing projects. And finally, Cracking Good Food again. Well done. Thank you, Oliver. Best service user involving organisations. So these are services and organisations that involve the people they work with in the way they actually operate, right through from their boards through to planning services and designing the way those services are delivered. So Sarah has brought us those. And first up, we've got Manchester People First, Learning Disabilities Support Organisation, the Booth Centre, homeless organisation, and George House Trust, supporting people with HIV. Well done to all of them. Fabulous. Next up, we've got Most Inspiring Campaign. We're really passionate about the fact that it's so important that community organisations and charities speak up about what they're seeing in local communities. Remember, there is a general election campaign about to resume. You have a voice in that. Don't be scared of the Lobbying Act or anything like that. Campaigning is a crucial role for the voluntary sector. So, we've got Michelle's brought us the shortlist. So first up is the Children's Society. We have Big Change Manchester, homeless support, and finally, Cities of Hope. Cities of Hope did a lot of the artwork around the city. You'll see some on the side of the building I am standing in now. So next we have Helen. Helen's brought us the Best Partnership Initiative. So this is about encouraging groups and organisations to work together. And first off, and I've got to pronounce this very carefully, we've got Fork Off, that's F-O-R-K off, and reach out to the community. Next up, we've got the Anson Community Centre. And finally, Best Partnership nominees are Whalley Rangers. Well done to all of those. Thank you, Helen. And lastly, we've got Alison here, has brought us the Health and Wellbeing Award. So these are groups that are actively working to support the health and well-being of people in local communities. First one we've got is Healthy Me, Healthy Communities. Nextly, we've got Manchester Refugee Support Network. And finally, there's a roll on the drums for that, we missed it. You First North Manchester. So well done to all of those. Thank you again. Let's get this drummed up. Beautiful. Yeah, you can't see the hugely impressive drum kit just off camera that enabled us to do that. There are two more categories. One is Best Community Space. Oh, thank you, Seth. That's going to look much better close up as well. So the best community spaces about spaces that are run by community organisations, open to the public, that involve people in the way they're run. With that one, what we do is we do an online vote, so that'll be running during July. So we've got 13, amazing, 13 in that, so all of them go forward to a vote. We'll post that on our website. So those are, I'll run through them very quickly, the Chatterbox Project, Apostles Community Kitchen, The Place, Miners Community Arts and Music Centre, Knutford Vale Country Park, Mad Lab again, the Horsefall at 42nd Street, just down the road, the Grange Community Resource Centre in East Manchester, the LGBT Plus Centre, Anson House, Volition Community, Mosside Community Allotment and Tree of Life Centre Widenshaw. Well done to all of those. We'll be putting out all the information about the public vote on that. The last one we've got, we're going to save because it's awarded outright by the judges. That's the award for contribution to the sector, and we've renamed that after our much missed colleague Dr. Sylvia Shams. So there is a winner which we will announce at the awards event, which is in October. But we will be contacting the winners just to let them know and make sure they keep the night available to come along and be celebrated. So the hashtag for all of this throughout the year, our Spirit of Manchester programme, is Spirit of MCR 17. We know the phrase Spirit of Manchester is being used a lot at the moment. We're really pleased about that, but you know, this is something that we wanted to do anyway. We've been running this programme for a number of years. It's important that we celebrate all the amazing stuff. There are over 110,000 people volunteer in this city all throughout the year. They give millions of hours of their time. They create millions of pounds of value for all that work and effort and energy and creativity that goes on in this city. That is what makes Manchester the place it is. We are part of the city and the way it works, part of the lifeblood. That is, we have seen so much more of that because people just pile in to help when it's needed in Manchester. We want to say thank you to everybody who opened up their doors, who put their kettles on Monday night and the early hours of Tuesday morning. We particularly want to applaud the work of our fantastic emergency services. They did so well and such bravery, and I know that is still going on now. So on behalf of all of us, we just want to say thank you guys. You are doing an incredible job keeping us safe. So there will be more information about this. What happens with the process next, I should say, is we will now go out and make little films about each one of those shortlisted organisations and individuals, and then on the night in October, we will play all of those films, our big awards event, and people will vote on them. So that night will be a celebration of a fantastic range of individuals and organisations who are making such a difference to Manchester at the moment and all throughout the year. You can see on our YouTube channel all the films that we've made in previous years. If you need an uplift this week, and we all do, have a look at some of those videos. They are inspiring stories of amazing people and amazing organisations who are out there working day in, day out to support this city. So thank you for watching. We kind of made this up a little bit as we went along, but we felt it was really important to send out some good news. And we just wanted to end with all of us have put together the things that we think we really want to say. So come on guys, everybody pile in. This is our message to Manchester in this week of all weeks. So we need to crowd in a bit more. Come on, everybody get in. I don't know if you can see that. We've got Sefton and Anika and other people, Claire's not here. But just with love from all of us at Mac.